Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly. Program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the High Valley Sports Online Ohio Coaches Show. Live from Scafi in Steubenville, Ohio. Today we have Reno Suckoff, sponsored by Four Cuba Maintenance. Josh Frankie from Toronto, sponsored by Toronto Lane. Eric Meeks from Steubenville Central, sponsored by Scafi. Mike Colby from Edison High School, sponsored by the Friendly Tavern. Welcome, like I said, everybody. We have Nino Scafidi here, from owner-operator of Scafidi's. Nino, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for your hospitality. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it, Nino.
We love having you guys here. We're a big supporter of all the community, whatever, football, soccer, basketball, baseball. And we love what you guys do. I'm a huge fan, and like I said, we just love having you, and appreciate you guys coming by.
Absolutely, Nino. We appreciate you stepping in for us. Nino, tell us a little bit about Scafidi's. What do you got going on here?
We're here in Hollywood Plaza, right next to the stadium, within walking distance. We get a nice crowd on Friday nights prior to the Big Red game. We get a lot of the teams coming in. I'm sure we'll get a few people in from Kilden this weekend. And what's nice about the location is you park your car. If you want to leave it, you can literally walk to the stadium, and you might have about a 5-minute walk to the stadium, 5-minute walk back. It's all well lit within the parking lot. So a lot of people come by, stop in around 4 o'clock, eat a good meal, maybe have a beer, some pops or whatever, and then walk to the game. We've been going at it now for about 15 years in the same location, and we really work on our homemade pasta, but we also have burgers, calzones, pizza, salads. We have gyros. So it's a very, the menu has been expanded, and like I said, we've been doing it for 15 years, and we're truly blessed.
Do a great job, Nino. I mean, I think it's an excellent location for you. Plenty of parking, as you said, well lit. Scaffidi's restaurant. You're involved in community, and you do a lot of things for the schools, Nino.
Yeah, my wife Dawn, she's the main one who kind of takes care of that, but she does a good job of reaching out to Big Red. We also do some stuff with Edison and Central, Indian Creek. If we have the opportunity, we work with them as well. But we have two kids that are both in high school right now, attending Steubenville High School, and so we like to give back, and we just think it's the right thing to do, and we love doing it.
Well, that giving back's the key. I mean, that's what I love. I mean, when people such as yourself are involved in the community, you know, homebred, you know, you're from Steubenville, even though, you know, your family's from the motherland, you know, where we all wish we were, you know, an easier time there. But, you know, you do get involved in the community, and that's what you got to appreciate about people that are doing well in the community, and they have a sense of community and give back, and we appreciate that. You know, Steubenville does, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're super proud of where we come from, Steubenville, and you know, it's a weird thing. No matter where you go, I've been to Italy, I've been to Florida, I've been all around the country, and if you wear a Steubenville Big Red shirt, somebody's going to recognize you, and somebody's going to say, "Hey, roll Red, roll," or "Hey, where's Reno at?" or "Hey, anything." And, you know, so it's a sense of pride, and truly, we love it here. We love the community. It's a great base of people, and we're just happy and blessed to be able to work in this community.
Absolutely. We got the Rat Pack behind us right here. You know, I love it. I love the figures that we have here. The hospitality is great. You know, I want to thank you again, Nino, for really, really welcoming us with open arms, and we really appreciate your time and your effort, Nino. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming, and appreciate it. You guys do a great job.
Thank you so much. That's Nino Scafidi, owner and operator of Scafidi's here in the Hollywood Plaza in Steubenville, Ohio. We appreciate hearing from him. We're going to be right back with Coach Reno Suckoch in his segment sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance.
Are you looking for a place to enjoy delicious Italian food and drinks with your friends and family? Look no further than Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. Scafidi's is a family-owned and operated restaurant that specializes in Italian cuisine. From pasta to sandwiches, we have something for everyone. And don't forget to try our signature cocktails. Our restaurant has a cozy and welcoming atmosphere that's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a special event or just want to have a night out, Scafidi's is the place to be. And did you know that we're located in Hollywood Shopping Plaza? You can easily stop by for lunch or dinner while running errands or shopping. So what are you waiting for? Come visit us at Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. We can't wait to serve you. Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern. Homemade Italian food and drinks in a cozy atmosphere. Visit us today.
Got a sidewalk that needs replaced, or maybe your roof is leaking? How about some new windows? Who do you call? Fort Steuben Maintenance, that's who. Commercial or residential, they can handle most any project, big or small. They also do new construction and renovations. So get a free estimate by calling Fort Steuben Maintenance today and get them started on your next project. 740-283-4890 for Fort Steuben Maintenance. Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
We're back here at Scafidi's. Want to thank Nino Scafidi for stepping in for us. Does a great job, man. The food's outstanding here. Hospitality's great. But right now we got Reno Suckoch, sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance. Reno of the Steubenville Big Red, 23rd year in a row in the playoffs. Number 1 seed. Got a big win over Louisville. We're going to talk about that now. Later we're going to talk about his playoff in. But Reno, Nino Scafidi steps up for us, does a great job, man.
He does. I mean, he feeds our coaches every Saturday, and our players eat here before games, and he just he treats us great, man. And I like the way he treats us and the way Mr. Saltzman treats us. They do a good job for us, and they just they take care of our football team. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Nino Scafidi, I mean, like his family's from the motherland, Prada La Poligna, Italy. You know, that's where we're from. So we're Kumbas, what they say, cousins. But, Coach, tell us a little bit about Louisville. You got a big win, 41-8 over Louisville. And, one thing I could say about Big Red is you guys have consistently got better each and every week in all areas. And I think that's a credit to you and your coaching staff.
Well, I was just sitting on the field today, walking around the field today, watching practice, and I was just it was one of our best practices of the year. But we got a 2 hour and 5 minute practice done in an hour and 43 minutes. And like I told the players after the game, that's because we didn't have to rewind anything. We went straight down the offensive list, straight down the defensive list. We had our individuals, we had our tackling practice. We went through the whole thing, and we had one interception and we had one movement, pre-snap movement. So those were two things we were working on for offense. And defensively, the thing we're working on is just getting lined up. We had a couple guys late lined up, but the things that we tried to emphasize this week, I thought we did a great job with today.
Yeah, Coach, Louisville game itself got off to another quick start. In that game and was able to put points up early and take care of business early on and once again get some of those younger guys in to continue to build your depth heading into Week 11 here.
Well, I told the boosters that we meet every Tuesday with the boosters. I show them the film, and we usually get it between 30 and 35 guys there. And I told them that I was really happy with the way we played. But the thing that I was happiest about, and I really mean this, is the way our players acted when we took them out of the game and put the younger guys in. I mean, they did a great job of supporting them, and I love the heck out of that. It's just something that they were raised right, and the coaches treat them right, and like I said, walking around practice today, I was really happy with the way practice went, and only because our coaches are prepared, and there's a script, and we're right on time. We're doing everything to cue, and the players just picked up, and we're enthusiastic, hardworking, and like I told our coaches today, I'm just surprised we were improving so much. We haven't had full pads on since the third week of the season, and we're getting it done.
Coach, 23 years in the playoffs. I mean, what you've done at Steubenville High School is phenomenal. I'm going back to 1983 or whatever it was whenever you started. I mean, you've had great support in the school system. But I'll tell you something, you talk about this year's team, I mean, like going into this year, I'm thinking Xavier Fulks. I know you like to run the football, but throughout this season, you have developed weapons to come at people from every single angle, and the whole time your defense has played well.
Well, you know what I'm thinking of when you're saying that is those guys on ESPN, how they crowned the 49ers and they lost 2 in a row, then they crowned the Eagles and lost 2 in a row. But I honestly believe what you're saying. Our kids gave a great effort, and like I told you, after the first game we got beat by Ursuline. I just talked to them in the locker room. I said, fellas, just trust us. We'll have a great game plan for you the rest of the way, and we're going to trust the way you execute the plan. They trusted us, and we trusted them, and we went on a 9-game streak. But as far as the 23 games in a row goes, I mean, I remember when 2 teams used to make it, then 4 teams used to make it. It was a big deal. Now, you can't focus on making the playoffs. You got to focus on playing a home game, because if you got to play 6 games on the road, that's impossible. I mean, pros don't even have to play 6 playoff games in a row. So, you got to work hard to get in the top 4. So if you win that first game, you get a second game at home. And if you lose the first game, it doesn't matter anyways. But if you win that first game, you get that second game at home. That's important. And I thought that really helped us the last couple of years.
Well, Tom, excuse me, Steve. I just want to say something because that popped into my mind. It's probably not a popular opinion, but in my opinion, I mean, it's too much. I mean, it's too much to ask of a high school kid to play 10 and then to win it all, play 6 more. I mean, I I think it's just totally out of hand. I mean, we all know the reason.
And the schools get no money for it.
Yeah, it's just a dirty shame. I mean, I had a in-depth conversation today with some people. I mean, it's sad because that's what they brought up to me. They said, Raymond, it used to be 4, and then it advances, or 2 and then 4, and now, I mean, I just think, you can condemn anybody, the NCAA as well as the Ohio High School Athletic Association and all associations. I mean, I think it's just too much to ask of a kid.
Well, especially, if you have a kid that's just playing football, it's still a stretch. It's still a lot of games. But what about the kid that plays football, then goes into basketball or wrestling, then goes into baseball or track? And then they wonder why kids don't play 3 sports anymore. I mean, that's like playing 20 sports. I mean, you go, and plus your summer's gone. Your summer's gone. I told you, Mom made that scrapbook for me, and when I was looking at it, we opened up my senior year September the 14th. That was our 5th game this year.
Yeah.
September the 15th was our 5th game this year, and it was our opener when I was. I mean, I know I'm old, but in the 60s, that was the opening day was September the 14th. Wow. Go ahead, Steve.
Going back to the team's improvement over the year, and something that I keep a special attention to or pay special attention to, and I wanted to point out and give credit to, I really feel that your offensive line has come a long way from the beginning of the season to this point. Not only run blocking, but their pass protection as well. They've been excellent pass protection, and your defensive line. I've been really, really impressed with how they play.
And that's helped our secondary. That defensive line has really helped the secondary. And it's funny you say that. We gave up 2 big plays against Lindsley, and I was watching the game yesterday. Or last night, or I don't even know what day it is. It was this Wednesday. I was watching Monday night. There was a game on, and the quarterback broke contain and was running around back there. They timed it from 9 seconds. And when they asked the coach at halftime about the secondary, he said, hey, if you let the quarterback run around there for 9 seconds, the whole team's going to be open. Yeah. And that's just what happened in Lindsley. So everybody was blaming our secondary. It's hard to cover somebody for 9 seconds, but I just thought about that watching the game, and so I talked to our secondary today about that, and just told them that. You got to, if you're man to man, you got to stay with your man, and if you're a zone, get as deep as you can in your zone. And we've been working hard at that. But the pass rush, like you say, Coach, is and that's why I respect what you guys say, because you both coached for all those years, and I respect the fact that you see some things in our team that the average person doesn't see. But our kids spend the time in it, and they get after it. And I appreciate it.
All right, man, that's Coach Reno Suckoch here, wrapping things up for the first segment as far as his win over Louisville, 23 years in a row in the playoff. Number 1 seed going to host Carrollton this coming week, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. It's Ohio Valley Sports Online, live from Scafidi's with the Ohio Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded, and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890. Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
All right, we're back here at Ohio Valley Sports Online, bringing you our weekly Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show with Ohio Coaches Side. We're here with Reno Suckoch, head coach of Steubenville Big Red. Finished the year 9-1 straight. 9 straight wins after an opening season loss. Getting ready to play Carrollton. Stevie, what do you got on Carrollton?
Okay, so your first round opponent, Carrollton, the number 16 seed. They entered the game at 6-4. Their losses were to Philo, Ridgewood, Garaway, and West Branch, all of which qualified for the playoffs with a combined record of 31-9. Their wins have come against Manchester, Garfield, a 6-4 Marlington team, a 6-4 Alliance team, who's a Division III playoff qualifier, Salem, and Minerva. They have very, very good size up front, and as a result, they are a run-heavy team. On the season, they've run 487 plays. 408 of those, or 84%, have been run plays. They've rushed for 1,761 yards as a team. Number 32, Ryan Kiko, is their leading rusher with 662 yards and 7 touchdowns. Number 34, Levi Kreider, has 429 yards and 5 touchdowns. And quarterback number 7, Jacob Whitmore, has 423 yards and 8 touchdowns. Whitmore has also completed 37 passes for 530 yards and 8 touchdowns. Their top players defensively are number 15, Dylan Naylor, number 34, Levi Kreider, number 8, Gunnar Burgett. As a team, they average 24 points per game and allow 24.3 points per game. Coach, your thoughts on Carrollton?
When you talk about their backs, their tailback has 132 carries, their quarterback has 112, and their fullback has 103. So I mean, they divide the ball up, and they do a really good job. I mean, they do what they do. They're double tight, and Coach Salimas, I've known him since probably the late 80s. He won the state championship when he was at Lisbon, right. And he went into retirement, and then he ended up getting this job a couple years ago. He does a good job. He's just sticks to what he does, and you got to stop him. And they're 55% on third down, and they're 44% on fourth down. So, they got 4 down. They got 4 downs to get 10 yards, and that's how we have to go into the game with a mental attitude that we're there for 4 downs, and we got to hold them to less than 10 yards and 4 downs.
Coach, one thing I want to say, when I hear these statistics, as a former defensive back and a defensive backfield coach, my concern is always don't get too nosy in the defensive secondary and let somebody get behind you. And that was my fear that came through. Thank goodness that they dropped the ball against University. But, they were also a run-heavy team. And what's your message to the defensive backs, just to not get, other than the obvious, not to get too nosy?
Well, when you play the type of defense let me say this: our defense is structured to stop the run, and our defense is structured to stop the run and tackle the pass. So we know we're going to give up some passes because of the way our structure is, and the reason why our structure is like that is because there hasn't been one team since 1971 or 72 when this started run a spread offense and win a state championship. You got to be able to stop the run when you're in Ohio. Now, if you look back to Kenton, the 4 years that the Kenton's coach McKay's son was a quarterback, he threw for 3,000, but he rushed for 2,800. So he was a tailback playing quarterback. So if you want to count them as a spread team, then we have one spread team win the state championship. So our defense is structured to stop the run, tackle the pass, and I think that the way we do things is we need to pressure that quarterback. We can't let him just stand back there and throw all day, and we're getting better at that. But in the beginning of the year, if you see, we were only rushing 3 guys. Now we're adding 1 blitz or 2 there's 4, and sometimes you have to go with 5. But the more guys you blitz, the more space you give up in the secondary. So we're trying to just we've made some personnel changes that we're gonna show, and I think it'll help us. But getting nosy is something our kids do, and just you got to get out there and just make the coverage. Call a soft coverage or call off coverage or do something to help them. The key to coaching is, and you guys coach, is you got to put your players in the best position to be successful. And during the regular season, we gave up a lot of passes, and we did give up a lot of passes, but it's not always the secondary. We can do things that to help our secondary, and that's what you have to do once the playoffs start. But in the regular season, we play, we do what we have to do to get our team better, to reach the goals we want to reach. And I think with a 73 and 27 record in the playoffs shows that we're 70% successful when it comes to playoff time. And we're third or fourth in the state in terms of wins. And so I don't apologize for anything. But as a coach, we have to get our players in the best position to be successful, and that's our job, and that's what we have to do. And it's going to be out there. You're going to be able to tell if we're doing our job or not. Our job is on the line every time we go out and play. And very few professions can show that besides the coaching profession. The coaching profession in high school, your kids are out there showing, and if you didn't teach it, then you allowed it to happen. So that's just the goal. That's just my goal, is to get our kids the best position to win, and that starts this week. And I think they're 49 of 89 passing. They've only thrown 89 passes.
Yeah.
They're 49 of 89. The quarterback completed 37 of the 49. So I don't know where the other 12 are, but, I wasn't concerned with that. But of the games that we watch, and we watch our last 6 games, they are persistent in what they do. And in 447 carries, they've only lost 10 on fumbles. And 10's a lot of fumbles, but when you put 10 with 447, that's not bad.
No, very, very small.
And I think it's 3 interceptions. I think they've turned the ball over 13 times. So, I mean, they're good at what they do. We just got to be better at stopping it.
Right.
Stevie? No, Coach, you reached your goal in the fact of, I know one of your goals were to get home games for your season ticket holders, and hopefully you're going to get 2 home games. What's it like for you just to be in that comfort zone of being home for 2 weeks?
Well, I think that the key to coaching is being uncomfortable, and so it's really not a comfort zone. It's now that that goal is done. Forget it. It's over with. Now we got to reset our goals, and our goals are just to have great practices. And tomorrow, I mean, as simple as it sounds, we're only out for an hour on Thursday. But my goal, and you talked to him before, my goal is to have a great Thursday practice, 1 hour. No pads, nothing, just review, walk through, do whatever you got to do, put your 2-minute, review your 2-minute offense, but to have a great day Thursday. And my goal tonight is to have a great night of sleep tonight. You guys coach. I mean, that it's day to day. And, I talked to Coach Narduzzi, and he was down in the dumps because they have a couple big losses. And I said, hey, when you take a coaching job, that, and you learn quick that you got to kick every day. Every day's a kick. Sometimes you're kicking a steel door, and sometimes you're kicking a wooden door, but there's no plastic doors. You just got to keep kicking, and every day something's going to come up. You have 64 kids on your team. Somebody's going to break up with their girlfriend, or somebody's going to have a bad day in English class, or somebody's going to have an argument with their mother. It's always something, and so you got to prepare for something different every day. So my goal is to have a great practice tomorrow after a great sleep tonight.
Okay.
You know what I mean, right, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Raymond's been out of it for a long time.
Absolutely, man. Life is good. I sleep like a rock.
Yeah, but one thing I can say, in the history of Big Red basketball, nobody had a higher percentage winning in the playoffs than you did. So,
amen, brother.
It's because you listened to me.
That's a fact. Look it up, man. Check the record.
It's because he listened to me.
Amen.
His first day he got the job, he told Paul Hoover and I forget the other kid's name, Pacanac.
Neil Pacanac.
You guys aren't playing football, so that.
And they still regret it, both of them.
No, Neil doesn't.
All right, man. That's going to do it for Coach Reno Suckoch here.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, Coach, wish you the best of luck,
appreciate your time. Okay.
We're going to have fun. We're going to be there Friday night.
I don't talk to Dan Vogel anymore because his wife retired, so I don't get those big lunches down to school anymore.
Well, Dan don't get them big lunches at home, Reno.
He doesn't deserve them.
All right, that's going to do it. This segment sponsored by Fort Steubenville Maintenance. Big Red going to host Carrollton at the stadium on Reno Suckarts Field Friday night. We'll be right back with Coach Josh Frankie, sponsored by Toronto Lanes. Thanks, Coach.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the sports authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the sports authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well. All right, we're back here with Coach Josh Frankie from the Toronto Red Knights, sponsored by Toronto Lanes here at Scafidi's. It's Ray Suckarts along with Stevie Daly and Dan Vogel. Ohio Valley Sports Online, bringing you the best in Ohio Valley sports. Coach, want to congratulate you,
Thank you
on your OVAC championship.
Thank you.
Want to congratulate you on the fact that you finished strong at 9-1. You got a big win over the Crusaders. I think in that game, Coach, I think it was in reality. I think you missed some opportunities, man. Looking back at it, and things to that effect. And let's talk a little bit about the Crusader game.
Sure. I mean, listen, we hit our yardage mark. I mean, we piled up some yardage. We had over 350 yards rushing. And, several missed opportunities. It's just one of those things where it was, we get going, the momentum's going in our way, we're driving down the field, or we hit a big play, and then we'll do something to shoot ourselves in the foot. We have a botched snap. I mean, obviously it's a little wet Friday night. Had a couple botched snaps. we'd fumble the ball, we'd throw an interception. I blame myself too. I had a couple stupid play calls that maybe tried to get a little too cute at times, outthink myself, outcoach myself, and
which I think in reality, Coach, excuse me.
No, yeah.
I think that is a mistake that all of us have made.
Right.
In that big game. Sometimes, we coach too much.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I really, really was surprised, that the game was that close, because I thought you guys were a superior team. And then whenever you said it in the paper, I think it was the worst effort that you gave personally all year. You put that on yourself. But I think that's a mistake that we all have coaches have fallen into, fallen into.
I mean, listen, we had almost 4 times the amount of yards that they did offensively, and scores that close. Obviously, there's something to factor in there. And again, we were in the red zone 4 times and didn't finish. Had 4 turnovers. They won the turnover battle. And listen, I sit here every week and preach to you, turnovers are big plays. I mean, we won the big play category, but they won the turnover category, and that usually is going to equate to a pretty close game. So, it is what it is. It's sometimes as a team, you have to find ways to get ugly wins.
Right.
And those are sometimes hard things to do. And if you can get ugly wins, that builds character amongst your team. And, again, this team, if they've proven anything, it's they can find ways to win. And that, any given Friday, that's what you want. At the end of the day, your win-loss record doesn't tell you how many points you won by or what the score was. And you got to give credit to them defensively. They knew what they were doing. They played us tough. They knew some of our favorite plays and had a good defensive game plan going into that game where they were able to cause us some problems on some key things that we like to do. Their defense coordinator definitely took our favorite plays and said, all right, we're going to stop these things, and they were ready for it. They really did. They had a good game plan going in. Now, they forced us. They took Russ Dickinson out of the game. They figured I think that was wise of them to do. And they said, hey, we're going to let them run the ball on us. And, we did. We had 350 yards rushing, but just, again, couldn't get the job done when we got in the red zone. And, that's going to reflect poorly on the scoreboard.
Right. Now, again, mentioning Russ Dickinson, first of all, he still was able to break the single-season pass yardage record.
Crazy.
And he did that in only 7 games, correct?
Yeah.
7 games was able to do that. And, again, give credit to the Central defense. Let's talk about your defense, though. They held the Central rushing game to just 49 yards on the night.
Yeah, listen, a lot of credit goes out to Matt Ludwig, our defensive coordinator. He had those guys ready, and to be honest, going into that game, I wasn't so much concerned about our offense. I was more concerned about our defense, just because they do some unconventional things, full house backfield, double tight end stuff, try to create additional gaps. And, it's just when you see those unconventional style of attacks, you just don't know how your kids are going to respond to it. You go in the game, you have a game plan, but it's one of those things where you're just like, is this going to work? And I shouldn't have second guessed Coach Ludwig and our defense, because they showed up, and man, I'll tell you what, without them, I don't know if we win that game. So they were the key piece of the ingredients. Our special teams and our defense really won the day and picked up for the offense. Where the offense has been running on all cylinders all year. We stalled out a couple of times. They were able to be the deciding factors of the game.
Right.
So,
and I don't want to foreshadow anything yet, but that defensive game plan is going to come in handy this week.
It sure is, isn't it?
Playing against an offense like it's going to come in handy this week.
Sure is.
Right?
Oh, I definitely want to congratulate Russ Dickinson. Don't want to mention GR, but I want to mention his father and Glenn Dickinson, the grandpa. Really happy for Russ Dickinson and what he's done. I got my man Dom Duco here, one of the greatest of all times. I don't care if we got Vince Lombardi or Josh Frankie on here. Want to say hello to Dom Duco, one of the great St. Anthony Hawks of all time. God bless you, Dominic. Good to see you, brother. Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
Dom, how are you?
Dom Duco joining the show here. One of the great ones, man. Absolutely, man. Thank you, Dominic. All right.
Getting back to Russ Dickinson, I told him today, I don't think I've told him enough how proud I am of him and what he's been able to accomplish.
Absolutely.
To be able to,
I mean, stepped in for you, Coach. I mean, whenever, my attitude is, Zeb Kinsey deserved it.
Sure.
And he got all the hype, but then he goes down.
Listen,
it could have been devastating, and Russ Dickinson stepped in like a champ.
Listen, Russ Dickinson is a high character individual, and a very humble individual. And when the decision was made that we were going with Zeb Kinsey, Russ Dickinson very easily could have said, well, you know what, I'm not playing anymore.
Absolutely.
Or he could have said,
Absolutely.
I'm going to a different school. But Russ, that's not Russ. That's not the type of person he is. He decided he was going to stay and help the team in any way, shape, or form. He ends up becoming our fullback or wingback. And when the time came for him to step in, he rose to the occasion and, again, proved to a lot of people that, he's a darn good quarterback. And,
sure is.
I'm very proud of him. It's not ever easy, especially a young man like Russ, to be in that position and then bounce back, and not even just bounce back, but just, fly back. To the point where you break the school's passing record and you do more than what's expected of you when your time comes. So I can't say enough good things about Russ. He's a high football IQ player, and the character that he has as a person, it far supersedes his athletic ability. And again, he's an outstanding athlete, but I'm just trying to demonstrate how good of a person he is.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love to hear you say that. His grandpa, good friend of mine. And he's doing it all for his beloved Toronto, born and bred up there. And God bless him. We wish him well and want to say hello to Glennie Dickinson as well. But we're going to be right back here with Coach Josh Frankie, sponsored by Toronto Lanes. We're going to talk about this week's opponent in the playoffs, when they're going to host Norwalk St. Paul's. We'll be right back. It's the High Valley Sports Online.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
You're listening to a High Valley Sports Online, the Sports Authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well. All right, we're here with Josh Frankie. He's getting a little emotional, a little sentimental here, getting a little soft on us here. Off air, we're trying to, get things going our way. But, Coach, Stevie Daler's going to break down this Norwalk St. Paul 6-4. Stevie, good team.
Right? Yes, they are. They're a very good team. And again, I'm doing this for our viewers out there, just to kind of lay things out and preview the team for them. But Norwalk St. Paul, the Flyers, the number 13 seed, enter at 6-4. Their losses have come to Huron, Milan Edison, Calvert, and Fort Loramie. Combined 29-10, those teams are, and they're all playoff qualifiers. Their wins have come against Ashland Mapleton, a playoff qualifier, Plymouth, Collins Western Reserve, a playoff qualifier, Crestview, South Central, and Monroeville, also a playoff qualifier. I had the opportunity today to watch some film on them from their last 4 games. They don't do a whole lot or get fancy, but what they do very well. They showed a lot of double tight formations, double tight with a wing, double tight with 2 wings to one side, Wildcat, double tight full house backfield, and double tight single flanker. Number 3 and number 28 are their ball carriers. Number 3 will also line up at quarterback in that Wildcat look. Number 4 is their normal quarterback. They'll use primarily 13 and 15 as their main targets when they do throw. Versus Monroeville, last week's opponent, they had 501 total yards of offense, all rushing. Versus South Central, they had 591 yards of total offense, 509 of those were rushing. Versus Crestview, they had 364 yards of total offense, 268 on the ground. Versus Fort Loramie, a loss, they did show some spread formations and threw it a little bit more. They had 370 total yards, 222 rushing, and 148 passing. So they're capable of throwing the ball, and when they do, they've shown some quick game, some boot or waggle off of their run game. They've shown even front defensively or 4 down. They average 24 points per game and allow 24.3 points per game. Coach, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, how often are you running into teams that are rushing for 500 yards a game?
Right.
So, listen, they are a very good football team. And for whatever reason, when we get in the playoffs, we tend to draw these teams that run these unconventional offenses and, are much better than their record states. I mean, last year it was Lucas, and that game came down to the wire for us. And this year it's St. Paul, and they are a much better team than what their record or their seeding indicates. I think Drew Pasteur has them in the power rankings as the number 4 team in his power rankings, and actually Drew has us as a 6-point underdog.
Right.
So you're the 4 seed and you're the underdog. So. But hey, you know what? Listen, it's not the first time we've been the underdog. It's definitely not going to be the last time. And our kids are going to come out. They're going to prepare for this game. We have a home game in Toronto. Clark Hinkle Field's been a special place for our football team over the last several years. And I can assure you we're going to do everything we can to get the job done. Like you said, double tight full house backfield. Their 2 favorite formations are double tight wing or the power T, and then you get the double tight wing T. So definitely heavy run formations. They have some good backs. They're undersized as a team. I think they have one starter that's over 200 pounds. So even their offensive line's in the 180s. So I think our size and our strength might give them some issues, but I think even more so what makes them run so effectively is I'm very impressed with it's almost a militaristic approach to where they're in the huddle. They break the huddle. Everyone is at a 75% run up to the line. They hurry up, they get set, they snap the ball before your defense can get set.
Right.
I mean, we are not going to be able to be lazy this game. We're going to have to be ready and get set as quickly as possible because they're trying to catch you off guard. And and I think they have to do that because of their size. Their foot-to-foot splits on the line. They're not very big. I think they know they're not very big. But you could tell, listen, they're on the chutes and they're in the, they're hitting the sled every day because those kids, they fire off the line of scrimmage. They're low. They try to out leverage you, and they try to move bodies, wall you off, and get seams. And offense is definitely something that's concerning. That's for sure.
Right.
Coach, you got the game at home. That's like a reward, in my opinion, for your season and what you accomplished during the season. But that's all behind you. I mean, you've had a lot of allure with your OVAC championship, a great 9-1 season. I mean, like me and you talked earlier in the year, and I said, Coach, I think the only thing that could stop you is yourself with the injuries, and then you got 3 injuries. So I shut up. I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to bring it up no more. But you got to be a comfort for you at least being at home in the first week.
Absolutely. Listen, and again, it just goes back to the same thing we were saying, earlier, is that this team has done nothing but prove people wrong since all those injuries occurred. And I guarantee you there wasn't a person in this entire valley or outside of our organization that thought after week 3 that we would finish undefeated and go 9-1. There wasn't one person that was putting money on that. And these kids did it. They showed up. They beat an undefeated Edison team. They showed up. We kind of ran right through or threw right through a really good Caldwell team who's number 1 in their region right now. And then we knocked off an undefeated Central team. So these kids have done nothing but prove everyone wrong. And I think they play with a chip on their shoulder. And listen, you're going to see they're not done. They don't want to be done. I think for a lot of these kids, we've tried to bring it to their attention that, this is going to be one of the most memorable seasons in their entire life in any sport, and they're enjoying it. And I think the community is enjoying it. I think the kids are feeding off the community, enjoying it. They don't want this to end, and I think that's important. That gives you something to play for Friday to continue on doing something that you're having a lot of fun doing. You know what I mean? This has been a fun season. Listen, I've had some seasons where we've had winning records and we've gone to the playoffs, and they weren't fun seasons. It was kind of just like you were successful, but it was a stressful season and things weren't fun. This is a fun season, and everybody's having fun. The kids are having fun. The coaches are having fun. The community's having fun. And it's one of those ones that you want it to keep going. So I think you're going to see kids playing for that on Friday. They don't want it to end.
Mm-hmm. Well, that excites me in the fact, Coach, that you are stopping to smell the roses.
Absolutely.
And saying that your kids are enjoying this as well as the community. Toronto, very, very, very tight-knit community. I mean, if you ain't from Toronto, I mean, you are, but thank God, all I can say is I told you earlier, thank God that my aunt grew up on Federal Street in Toronto, because I spent a lot of time there, and I was able to walk in the white front and not have a beer and a punch in the face. You know what I mean? So,
Ray, I don't know. I don't get the same vibe from Toronto. I spent a lot of time in Toronto. I do. Okay, now it's amongst other Notre Dame fans, so I'm accepted. I'm accepted there with open arms, but, come on now.
Hey, listen, I know some good people in Toronto. I mean, you talk about the Cernanskis and my man Brian Koski, so I've always felt comfortable there. I grew up there as a young man. I spent a lot of time at my Aunt Nelvie and Uncle Mike's house on Federal Street. But Toronto could be a little bit different. I mean, they're either with you or they're against you. I know that. But they're okay with me. Peace. All right, that's Coach Josh Frankie. Final thoughts, Coach.
Listen, man, come out, support us Friday night. I think the kids feed off of the energy of the stands. It's going to be a nice night, and Norwalk obviously has a long road trip down here, close to Sandusky. Yep. So it's a little bit of a hike for them, and we want them to see what Valley football is all like or all about. So come out, support these kids on a nice, beautiful night for football, and let's see if we can keep this train moving, man.
That's right. Absolutely. Let's hope that travel affects them, Coach.
Yep.
Wish you the best of luck, man. God bless you, man. Yep. All right, Coach Josh Frankie, sponsored by Toronto Lanes and the Toronto Red Knights. And we're going to be right back with Coach Eric Meeks, sponsored by Scafidi's. Thank you.
Are you looking for a place to enjoy delicious Italian food and drinks with your friends and family? Look no further than Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. Scafidi's is a family-owned and operated restaurant that specializes in Italian cuisine. From pasta to sandwiches, we have something for everyone. And don't forget to try our signature cocktails. Our restaurant has a cozy and welcoming atmosphere that's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a special event or just want to have a night out, Scafidi's is the place to be. And did you know that we're located in Hollywood Shopping Plaza? You can easily stop by for lunch or dinner while running errands or shopping. So what are you waiting for? Come visit us at Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. We can't wait to serve you. Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern. Homemade Italian food and drinks in a cozy atmosphere. Visit us today.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the Sports Authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well. We're back here at Scafidi's with Coach Eric Meeks of the Steubenville Central Crusaders. Finished the year at 9-1, going to make their second consecutive trip to the playoffs. Coach, you was chasing history. 9-1, great effort. You lose the last one to a very good Toronto team, but a great year for you, Coach.
Well, thank you. I really am proud of the way our kids went and were focused. Had a great week of practice. They were really focused on the task at hand, and I thought they really, as a lot of people said afterwards at the fish fry, came up, and our kids were so, they represented the school first class all week. They just kept quiet and just worked hard, and they played extremely hard. We went up against a very, very good football team. I think offensively I could have done some things a little different. My goal was to try to get 12 first downs. We used a lot of the clock, but we didn't get enough first downs to use as much of the clock as I wanted to use. And when I say I could have did a few things differently, they did a great job with their defensive scheme of taking 2 of our 5 bread and butter plays away. And I got a little bit stubborn and kept trying to run those 2 plays. And that was maybe an error on my part, solely on my part. But I thought our special teams played very smart, and I thought our defense did a wonderful job. Now, defensively, a week ago, Saturday, Sunday, the morning after the Conotton Valley game, and then the day after on Sunday, we sat there and really had to make some tough decisions, basically pick our poison. I mean, who do you possibly, that offense, could score as many points as they want, really,
With a lot of different people.
With a lot of different people. And what we decided as a staff is the poison we were going to pick was try to dare them to run the ball. And we were going to try to shut the pass game down because of the big play capability. And we think that they did want to score early and often to try to get up on us because of the type of team we are. And I thought our secondary did great. I thought our pass rush was fantastic. I thought our linebackers did great. But they hit that counter, I call it counter gut. Everyone calls it something a little different. They slashed us about 6 or 7 times for big yardage, whether it be Cam Baker or Don Bowser. And but besides that, so give them credit that they saw what we were trying to stop, which we did a fantastic job holding the 40 yards passing. But the whole philosophy of that, why we went with that philosophy was, we were like, if we could keep it all in front of us, and some of our guys are on their feet instead of down in a 3-point, when they do run the ball, maybe we could pursuit to the football and converge and try to stop the run. And we did on several plays, but like I said, you give them a seam, they're running backs, and they're gone. And then offensively, I think our offensive line played very hard. There were 2 kids in particular, Caden Benton and Heath Thomas. They just were very big, strong bodies that, to be quite frank, it was hard to move. And there were a couple plays by scheme that we had 6-on-4 blocking, and we still had trouble moving the ball. So if we could have got another 6 first downs, that would have limited their offensive plays further, and who knows. But the bottom line is we wanted to be in striking distance going into the 4th, which we were when we made it 14-6. People were like, why'd you go for 2? Well, B.J. Fallon, our holder, was out of the game at that time.
Right.
And let's go for 2. If we get 14-8, maybe we'll get them reeling a little bit. And we didn't get it. And then, unfortunately, the last 11 and a half minutes of the game, to their credit, was deep in our territory. So we just couldn't quite get over the hump. Then they kicked the field goal.
Right.
But I'm very proud of the kids. I'm very proud of our school. I'm very proud of just everybody. It's been a great season. We don't want it to end this week, but I just feel that our kids have improved tremendously. I feel our culture is very, very solid. We try to do everything first class. We try to respect our opponents in victory or defeat, and we try to always show respect and understand that this game of high school football, what it really is about, and that is turning young men into great young men and get them ready for the biggest game of all, which we say is the game of life. And I wish Toronto the best of luck in the playoffs. I think they have the talent to make a really nice run.
Well said, Coach. I appreciate that. But, Coach, you finished the year 9-1. You are with this season, you are in rare air in the history of Catholic Central High School, with not too many teams have been 9-1. Some of the great ones, that come to mind was the 63 team with Buster Gannon, of 9-1. But, Coach, your comments just on the fact of being 9-1 with Central and their rich tradition and just being up there with some of the great teams.
No, like I said, it's a special place. It's not for everybody. It's not. It's when I say it's not for everybody, that's in a good way when I say that. The expectations of how you conduct yourself, that was laid out to me before I was offered the job, and how they expected our young men to act on the field and off the field, how they expect our coaches to act. And it's a special, special place. And I'm very humble to be the head football coach there. And I think that our kids, the culture, began to really, they started to understand in the fall, in the winter. Started with the 6 a.m. lifts, and we changed it to after school for some reasons, getting some things going as far as community service, having success in other sports with the great coaching staffs and the great role models that we have in some of our other sports, and just a great weight room. And then a solid summer, June, July, and August, and we just kept building and building and building. And just take it a day at a time. And again, very proud of everyone. Very proud of my assistant coaches. I got outstanding coaches. Teddy Kostecki is our defensive coordinator, who just has done a tremendous job. Seth White, Seth's a guy that helps me get the guys mentally focused, and he does a great job as our secondary and receiver coach. Dave Brown, I call him Dr. Dave because he's a jack of all trades. Besides, I told you, the strongest man in the world according to Sam Fornsaglio, his old coach. He coaches the O&D lines. We got Coach Gabe Erickson, who does a great job helping Coach White and I. And we got young John Serafini. And then we got some guys that help us behind the scenes. A lot of film breakdown. My father does a tremendous job, drives down every Sunday from East Palestine and him and Teddy were in there 8 hours on Sunday. They actually, I got out about half hour before them on offense, but Coach Todd Phillipson does a lot of work with us behind the scenes, and Moose Pizzoferrato and Mike Lemmel. And then Cassidy Arai does a lot with our taping. And, of course, we got Leo Lanigan and Paul Romano on the equipment. So just a great group of men, and they're great role models for our kids. And I'm proud of each and every one of them.
Coach, you had I know you had some of my teammates come up and speak to you from our 10-0 team in 1971. If you did, at what time did you start relating to your kids that you had something special going here in this season with to rank up there with some of the great teams, or did you touch on that at all?
I did. I told them the night before we played Bridgeport. We were sitting there 7-0, and I said, if we could win this game, then we're going to have a chance. Something's going to be in reach that hasn't happened since I was 1 year old 52 years ago. And as soon as we won that ball game, then I actually got a hold of Mike Mahalik and said, hey, can you guys, this is the situation, can you grab a few guys and come up and talk to us Thursday after practice, the night before the Connaughton Valley game, and they did a great job. And it's just something that, that we try to build upon. And, we want to continue to do things with our alumni in this off season and get as many people involved with Catholic Central football as we can.
All right, beautiful. That's Coach Eric Meek here. The 9-1 Crusaders heading to the postseason for the second year in a row. Going to be at Lowellville here. Number 6 Lowellville as the Crusaders come in at number 11 in the region. Lowellville at 9-1. We'll talk about them when we come right back with the High Valley Sports Online Ohio Coaches Show.
Are you looking for a place to enjoy delicious Italian food and drinks with your friends and family? Look no further than Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. Scafidi's is a family-owned and operated restaurant that specializes in Italian cuisine. From pasta to sandwiches, we have something for everyone. And don't forget to try our signature cocktails. Our restaurant has a cozy and welcoming atmosphere that's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a special event or just want to have a night out, Scafidi's is the place to be. And did you know that we're located in Hollywood Shopping Plaza? You can easily stop by for lunch or dinner while running errands or shopping. So what are you waiting for? Come visit us at Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. We can't wait to serve you. Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern. Homemade Italian food and drinks in a cozy atmosphere. Visit us today.
We're back here live from Scafidi's, the High Valley Sports Online, bringing you our weekly coaches show as we prepare to head into the postseason in Ohio. West Virginia, of course, has one more week to go. We'll get with them next week. But right now we got Eric Meeks and Coach Steve Daly, our resident expert, going to tell us about Lowellville, the Crusaders' opponent this week.
Ray, if you'll indulge me, we're going to really dive into the Rockets here. We're going to look at their offense first, then their defense, and then finally their special teams.
Indulge me. He went to Central, man. He went to Central.
So, as Ray mentioned there, the Louisville Rockets coming at 9-1. They're the 6th seed. Their lone loss was to Berlin Center Western Reserve, who finished the season 8-2 as the number 3 seed in Region 25. That game was 21-14. Western Reserve actually led that game 21-0 at the half and had to hold on for the victory. Their wins have come against Columbiana, a playoff qualifier, Campbell Memorial, Tuskegee Central, Matthews, Mineral Ridge, a playoff qualifier, McDonald, a playoff qualifier, Jackson Milton, a playoff qualifier, Waterloo, and Springfield, also a playoff qualifier. So in all, they've played 6 playoff qualifiers and defeated 5 of them. They averaged 36.2 points per game and allowed 10.9 points per game. I had the opportunity today, had some free time. I was able to watch their entire Week 8 game versus Jackson Milton. So let's talk first about them offensively.
Yeah, don't you teach, Steve?
I had some free time. I have prep periods, Ray. So they utilize a lot of different personnel at the skill positions. Their quarterback, number 2, Michael Ballone, is the guy that kind of makes them go. He's thrown for 1,354 yards and 16 touchdowns, while also running for 512 yards and 5 touchdowns. As a team, they've rushed for 1,814 yards and 29 touchdowns. They've shown spread and empty sets, and will also utilize 2-back pistol sets with an H-back. The run game is a zone read-based run game, with which they will run some option. They brought Dabney on an orbit motion on the one against Jackson Milton for an option touchdown. They have also shown some gap scheme power and counter as well. Along with Ballone, their main ball carriers are number 20, Santino Rivera Ocasio, and number 22, Gino Perry. The 4 main targets in the pass game are number 7, Matthew Lacido, number 11, Braylon Dabney, number 10, Bruce Brenner, and number 13, Landon Eisenwine. Their offensive line has pretty good size and moves extremely well. Mm-hmm. So your thoughts on their offense first, Coach?
Well, we last year we went up there in the playoffs. They beat us 54-13, and I talked to Coach Mamula Saturday morning early, and he was like, "Coach, how many kids did you get in?" "New." I said, "None." I said, "It's the same team." I think we're a lot better, obviously, but they are a different type team, and he even said that on the phone. He said, "Coach, you're going to get the film here in a few minutes." He says, you're going to see this. But last year, his brother, the Ballone boy, was about 6'4",
and he was a quarterback, and was he on target? I mean, I think he was the top passer in Ohio, maybe all divisions when we played him. And now this boy, his younger brother, physically is like a totally different kid. He's a short kid, and he can fly, use his feet. Like you said, they do run the option. Poor Coach White. Coach White was our quarterback today because he can still move. When we did option, I said, you got to get in there, just don't pull something. So he gave the defense a really good look. And, they're dangerous. They got really good skill. They're a different type of team, though, than they were a year ago, as we are as well, obviously. Right. We're a different scheme. So, we have got to keep it all in front of us, and we got to be aggressive. We got to stop the run. It's not going to be a situation where we just, like a year ago, we had to stop the pass, or a week ago we were like picking our poison against a really explosive offensive team. But we got some things in, and we're going to try to call the right things at the right time and make plays. They're coming off a huge win, a game that a lot of people thought was a little bit of an upset. They beat Springfield, local, which is in their conference. Not only did that propel them to a home playoff game, it's a big rival, and it also now allowed them to get a share of their league title. So they're coming off a big emotional win. When you get to this point, you just want to win the game, whatever it takes. I mean, from a psychological standpoint, I kind of hope that they're like, we beat this team by 41 points last year. Right. I'm hoping they're still kind of sky high from the Springfield game. But, so we will see. But they have put up points, and we need to be ready.
Right. Now, defensively, they're a base 3-4, mainly two high safety secondary, which is a very adjustable defense. They'll give both 4 and 5 down looks off of this as they walk up defenders. They want to maintain the integrity of a 7-man run box and will at times roll up a safety to an 8-man box with 3 deep behind it. They gave all these looks in the Jackson-Milton game. They forced 16 turnovers on the year and recorded 19 sacks. But they did give up some yards on the ground in that Jackson-Milton game. So looking at them defensively, Coach, your thoughts?
Well, like you said, it's a 3-4, and it's interesting because your number system might be different. I call it a 4 technique, which is inside eye of the tackle.
Right.
They will do that, so we got to utilize our splits at time, and we got to be able, because they slant, we got to be able to pick, and we did a great job today in practice. I will say that our running backs, when you only have 5 or 6 bread and butter plays running-wise, and you are a run-heavy team, our backs are really getting good at reading the blocks and knowing when to bounce it, when to stick it up inside, quicker. So, there's a lot of things there. And but, yeah, they do, like you said, the cover, too. I do expect that maybe they'll bring the extra backer in, but we got something for that. But, they're a very good team. And I don't think anyone in Youngstown thinks that we're going to come up there and beat them.
Right.
But, I think a lot of people last week thought that, we were going to get absolutely drilled. But our kids didn't think that.
Right. And special teams has been a strength for you guys all season. And looking at them from a special team standpoint, they had 2 big plays in that game. Balone on the opening kickoff on a pooch or pop-up kick had big return for them, used his legs. And then they recovered a pooch kick as well. So a little extra time on the special teams this week.
So, as you saw, well, of course I got several films on them, but they will onside kick. Like, we're going to defer. I mean, I already told the kids if we win the toss, so I said there's a good chance. I would think that maybe they would take the ball. Maybe. I could be wrong. There's a good chance we will be on kickoff return. So it would not surprise me if they start off with an onside kick. So we got to work on the onside kick, covering that.
the high pooch.
Right.
And then I called a middle dribble down the middle of the field in the soft spot. And we worked on all that today, and we will again tomorrow.
Right.
And then Daniel, we're just going to let Daniel do his thing as a punter and kicker. I mean, and our kickoff and punt coverage has been very, very good all year.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Ray?
Coach, 2 years in a row, Central has made the playoffs. What do you think that means to the overall program?
I think that, like I said, it's an extremely close-knit school community, as you guys both know, because of your experience. Are you a Central guy? Okay.
He wants to be.
I saw you. Well, it's a pretty good place. We just want to keep building. We want to, like I said, we want to do things the right way at all times. We want to, Mrs. Lucas, our wonderful principal, has said to me on several occasions.
Actually, I used to cheat off her in math.
Yeah. So she said.
She criticized me one time. She said, Raymond, I heard you and Steve talking about who was going to add up the yardage. You asked Steve to help you out on how far was that punt and how far was that run. And Steve said, well, Raymond, I don't know if I could help you out. And I'm saying to myself, how's Raymond going to help you out? He cheated off me in math.
Yeah. She was listening.
Yeah,
but
Judy Enninger.
Mrs. Lucas is a wonderful person. And I tell you what, she has said to me on several occasions, as is John Lessner, our Dean of Students, how well-behaved our kids are in school. And they know that is not something that's going to be tolerated. And our kids are leaders. We have several kids that do several things in that school. And, they're good students and they're good. They play multiple sports. They're in clubs. They're in positions of leadership. And we just want to keep doing things to build our culture, build our program, support the other programs as well. And just it's high school football is a year-round thing. Now that doesn't mean we want kids to play other sports, but as far as my job is, it just changes, as we go into the off season, obviously. But we just want to keep doing things the right way and keep working like crazy, and knowing that we got a great group of kids to work with each day.
That's beautiful. Well, in my time at Catholic Central, one thing that was never referred to, as far as I was concerned, was well-behaved. So with that, we're going to close with Coach Eric Meek. Coach, wish you the best of luck this week. Hope to see you next week.
Good luck.
As you go to Lowellville. And we're going to close it out here. Eric Meek, sponsored by Scafidi's. It's the High Valley Sports Online, bringing you our Ohio Coaches Show. We'll be right back with Mike Colopy after these messages.
Are you looking for a place to enjoy delicious Italian food and drinks with your friends and family? Look no further than Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. Scafidi's is a family-owned and operated restaurant that specializes in Italian cuisine. From pasta to sandwiches, we have something for everyone. And don't forget to try our signature cocktails. Our restaurant has a cozy and welcoming atmosphere that's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're celebrating a special event or just want to have a night out, Scafidi's is the place to be. And did you know that we're located in Hollywood Shopping Plaza? You can easily stop by for lunch or dinner while running errands or shopping. So what are you waiting for? Come visit us at Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern in Steubenville. We can't wait to serve you. Scafidi's Restaurant and Tavern. Homemade Italian food and drinks in a cozy atmosphere. Visit us today.
Come and visit the Friendly Tavern on 213. Our little neighborhood bar is the perfect place to unwind and have a good time with friends and family. Here are some reasons why you should drop by. Fun and friendly staff. Our staff is always ready to welcome you with a smile and make sure you have a great time. Reasonable prices. We offer great food and drinks at prices that won't break the bank. Great food. Our commitment to using only fresh and high-quality ingredients means that every dish we serve is delicious and satisfying. Community feel. The Friendly Tavern is a place where everyone knows everyone. Come and be a part of our friendly community. Highly recommended by our customers, the Friendly Tavern is the perfect spot for a night out or a quick drink after work. Don't miss out on the fun. Drop by today.
We're back here at Scafidi's. Want to say once again thank you to Nino Scafidi for stepping in, and when we needed him, he's always been there for us, and we're very, very appreciative of him here in the Hollywood Plaza in Steubenville, Ohio. Stop in to Scafidi's right close to the stadium. You can stop in before the game. With us now, sponsored by the Friendly Tavern of the Edison Wildcats, Mike Colopy, this week winner of the prestigious Route 43 Bowl. To finish the season.
Sponsored by Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Coach, you follow up a 10-0 season with a 7-3 season. You keep doing that, people are going to think you're a football coach, man.
Yeah, I don't know if too many people think of that. Last week was, it was everything that we thought it would be. You had two groups of kids, two teams that were playing their hearts out, for their schools. It was a hard-hitting, very physical game, and I was really proud of our kids. How they played, how they represented, our community. And the same said for Indian Creek. You had, like I said, two groups of kids that were representing, their school, their communities well, and we were lucky to come out on top.
I don't know if you were lucky, Coach. We had the West Virginia coaches show. We were over at Basil's. We saw a bunch of your kids throwing darts over there, drinking beer, drinking whiskey. They were very, 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 very excited and confident for the game. They were definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, you get to week 10, and it's about playing for your school, for your community. You're playing with a lot of pride, and their kids played the same way. Indian Creek kids. They played their butts off. Like I said before, it was a very physical game. It was a game that you're accustomed to seeing. The last few years have gone our way, but we've been on the other end of it so many other times that, where, we might not have, had the best year, but, I felt like, even as an assistant, our kids gave their best effort, for our community, and there were some things that transpired during the game that that went our way, and I was happy to come out of that with a win. And it's so like we talked the last couple of weeks, and you're managing high school kids. I don't want to say dealing with it, because dealing with it would imply that that it's more of a stress, but you're managing high school kids, and we were all high school kid at one point, and it's hard to not pay attention to playoff talk and this, that, and the other. But we had a really good week of practice last week. We were really focused. We had a little different purpose to us, something that you can't really put your finger on, but the focus was definitely there, and we started this week off, the first 3 days, it was just as good.
Right. So in that Indian Creek game, Coach, 7-6 at the half, which, we saw from Indian Creek all year. Their kids battle, and they definitely were able to do that, but you were managed to pull away in the second half. Talon McClurg had a big night, three touchdowns, right? No, 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry. He ran for 104 yards and a touchdown, caught 2 passes for another 53 yards. J.D. Henderson, pretty good night, but your defense was able to contain Zion McGee and hold him to 78 yards on 18 carries. That had to be huge for you, and probably a focus going into the game as far as stopping their rushing attack.
Absolutely. They have a very effective rushing attack. He's, one of the better tailbacks in the area. We are concerned about him. We are concerned about Gavin Pinnell. He was another threat. That they, they used some 2-back sets with him, and their quarterback is a really good runner, and he was the one that scored their touchdown.
Right.
Zach Bayard, and there's, it's a little bit easier if you're only defending one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was proud of our kids. Defensively, we had some breakdowns here and there, but we were getting the football, and I thought we executed throughout the game.
Right.
Coach, you put a 7-3 season, which could have been better. You know what I mean? But you'll take 7-3. You follow up a 10-0 season. You got things moving in the right direction. You're making another playoff bid here. Good things at Edison as far as football is concerned.
Yes, proud of these guys this year. It's not easy following, the team from the previous year. And, obviously if you ask, any of us coaches down to the players, 7-3 isn't anything that anybody's happy with, but it is, the bottom line is, it is what it is, and we're in the playoffs.
A lot of teams would like to be 7-3, Coach.
Absolutely, and we're in the playoffs, and, we, kind of at the end of last year talked about, winning some games, making a little run. I think these guys know that it's all, out in front of them, that we have an opportunity, and that's all it is an opportunity to go out and have them, we gave ourselves an opportunity to play in a playoff game, and if, we do what we're capable of doing, we could have another opportunity to play the following week. And, that's the one nice thing about high school football in Ohio, with the playoff system. You have an opportunity, to win, and you have that added winner go home where there's no tomorrow. So, hopefully, anybody that, that is playing in any sports has ever played in a tournament game, that's where, your best is needed, and hopefully we're ready to give our best this week.
Beautiful. Okay, we're talking to Mike Colopy from Edison High School. He's the son of Dave Chalkline Colopy. They used to call him. We'll be right back, talk about this Ridgewood team that also 7-3 in a 10-seed, 7-seed matchup that could go either way. We'll be right back with High Valley Sports Online.
Come and visit the Friendly Tavern on 213. Our little neighborhood bar is the perfect place to unwind and have a good time with friends and family. Here are some reasons why you should drop by. Fun and friendly staff. Our staff is always ready to welcome you with a smile and make sure you have a great time. Reasonable prices. We offer great food and drinks at prices that won't break the bank. Great food. Our commitment to using only fresh and high-quality ingredients means that every dish we serve is delicious and satisfying. Community feel. The Friendly Tavern is a place where everyone knows everyone. Come and be a part of our friendly community. Highly recommended by our customers, the Friendly Tavern is the perfect spot for a night out or a quick drink after work. Don't miss out on the fun. Drop by today.
You're listening to a High Valley Sports Online, the Sports Authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well. All right, we're back here at Scafi. Danny Dow's Vogel keeping me on point here. I'm trying to reminisce a little bit. Having fun here with Coach Mike Colopy. Coach, Stevie Daly is going to give us a rundown on Ridgewood, and you give us your thoughts.
You start on the road here, first round of the playoffs versus the 7-seed Ridgewood. They enter also at 7-3. Their losses have been to 3 playoff qualifying teams in West Branch, 9-1, Indian Valley, who's 7-3, and Garraway, who's 10-0. So those teams are combined 26-4. Their wins have come against Coshocton, Riverview, Carrollton, who finished 6-4, playoff qualifier, taking on Big Red this week. Tuskegee Central, Tuskegee Valley, a playoff qualifier. Sandy Valley, 6-4, playoff qualifier, and Claymont. They average 26.9 points per game and allow 17.2 points per game. They're a solid program under Coach John Slusser and a perennial playoff team. So your thoughts on Ridgewood?
Well, you hit the nail on the head on Coach Daly did his homework. He was on.
He always does, man.
First off, their program. You were talking, they're a perennial playoff team. Coach Slusser has been at it. I believe this is his 19th year.
Right.
I don't really know him on a personal level, but he and I were both head baseball coaches at the same time, and I think he kind of was the head baseball and football coach for a while. So we had talked, at state clinics or whatever. But he does an outstanding job. And the thing that Ridgewood kids, and I'm speaking, from both sports, football and baseball, is they are hard-nosed. Mm-hmm. They're extremely competitive. They're extremely well-coached. And, what they like to do is run the ball. Mm-hmm. And in terms of going backwards a little bit, they don't shy away from competition. Their schedule is really tough. And I hate to keep comparing the sports, but it's the same way in baseball. I mean, they'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And like I said, he's had it established, for a while. And it's a challenging opponent. But in the playoffs, there's no breathers out there. Right. Everybody's a good team. And it's going to come down to execution.
Right. And what I remember of them years ago when he was the head coach, they were one of those teams that they don't do a whole lot. They're not real fancy, but what they do, they do it extremely well, and they're very fundamentally sound.
Yeah, they haven't changed in terms of that. I mean, I'm sure schematically they probably have changed a little bit throughout the years, but they like to establish the run. They have a couple big kids up front. Their offensive line is very fundamentally sound. They have a really, really good tailback that presents a challenge. I mean, he's got size, runs hard. He has speed to go with it. Their quarterback is an athlete. I'm not saying he's not a good passer, but the run threat is there with him. They'll run both of those two guys equally. They have a player that's their slot receiver. They bring him in motion and run some jet sweeps with him. He reminds me of a combination between Cam McAfee from Edison Central, and there was a kid that played for Matthews a couple years ago, a very similar type of player. Combination of those two, very fast, very elusive. They have some wings that they like to use. In terms of what they like to do offensively, run the ball, but they'll present different formations. They'll run out of a spread look. They'll have a double tight, double wing. They have some wing tee concepts that they like to do, but in terms of passing, there's sprints and rolls. They'll play action pass, and they just do a really good job of getting their kids the ball. The ones that can make plays defensively. They present some different looks. Their base is a 4. Whether it's a 4-2-5, 4-3, it all depends on how they use their personnel. They'll go into a 50 look, the old Mau sort of, that we ran.
Right.
They go into we call it a 5-2 tough, where you have double one techs, and then they run like a slide tech with their 4-man front, where they slide their one tech to 0, and they have their 3 to the tight end side. And defensively, their front 4 are really, really good. And it's funny, when you watch a team on film, you can always tell how well they're coached by how their defensive ends, how they attack their man over top of them. And when their man blocks down, what are they doing? And their textbook in terms of, squeezing it down, being ready to take on the kick. Their linebackers are downhill. I mean, they're a well-coached team. There's no other way of, slicing it.
Right.
All right, man. We appreciate your time, Coach Colopy. Wish you the best of luck. It's the High Valley Sports Online here with Mike Colopy of the Edison Wildcats. Finished the season 7-3 on the road. Ridgewood 7-3. Coach, hope to see you next week, brother. Good luck
Absolutely.
to you, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Good luck.
The High Valley Sports Online, that's going to do it here from Scafidi's. Thanks for watching in. We'll see you next week. Want to wish everybody the best of luck. We'll have a split screen this week, as we'll be at the Big Red game, but we'll also have Central on the split screen. So watch us then. Thank you for listening. For Dan Vogel and Steve Daly, this is Ray Suckoff bidding you farewell.